Thank you. Since all of you commit to doing better, do each of you have a mission statement regarding your commitment to prevent the use of your platforms to promote, as Mr. Stretch describes it, to prevent the promotion of discord or fomenting of discord? Is there some statement that you can tell us that says, okay, we're committed that this is not going to happen again? Mr. Stretch, we'll start with you.
So our mission is to give people the power to build community and bring the world closer together. Our policies prohibit hate speech of all kinds, as well as other forms of bullying and harassment.
Well, one thing that you said, Mr. Stretch, in response to one of the other questions was, you said authenticity is our responsibility. I kind of like that as a mission statement for all three of your companies. Authenticity.
At Facebook, we do require people to use the service by the name they're known by, and we believe that's a very important part of the service Facebook offers. It is, to us, the cornerstone of authentic dialogue. We want to make sure people, when they come to Facebook, can trust the content they see, and it is our responsibility to make sure that we're enforcing that by policing bad actors who are using inauthentic accounts.
Or a simple mission statement like, you can trust our platform. So to Mr. Edgett or Mr. Salgado, do you have a mission statement with regard to this particular concern that we are addressing in the hearing today?
Yeah, one of our underlying missions is to help unite and inform, and obviously the type of activity we're talking about today is intended to divide. So we're working very hard on this. We have a policy around anonymity to allow free speech and expression, especially in more difficult parts of the world, to enable political dissidents or embedded journalists or human rights activists to take on a different persona to speak truth to powerful individuals. So we're always trying to balance that with the ability to make sure that we're not trying to divide through political or state-sponsored acts like we're talking about today.
Well, I'll let Mr. Salgado also respond briefly.
Sure, briefly. Well, absolutely. And we just put out a public statement, I think it was even yesterday, about wanting to do better in this area and being committed to do so and setting out some specific steps.
Yes, we are very interested in the specific steps. And Mr. Stretch, you said that there are 150 people at Facebook just focused on the content of the content of what's on your platform. How many people do you have, Mr. Edgett, at Twitter to concentrate on the content and ferreting out the kind of content that would be deemed unacceptable, divisive? I realize there are a lot of First Amendment complicated issues, but how many people do you have?
Well, we harness the power of both technology, algorithms, machine learning to help us, and also a large team of people that we call our trust and safety team and our user services team. It's hundreds of people. We're at a different scale than Facebook and Google, obviously, but we're dedicating a lot of resource to make sure that we're looking at user reports about activity on the platform that they think is violent or activity on the platform they think is illegal, and prioritizing that accordingly.
So you have fewer people than Facebook. Facebook has 150. You said you have hundreds.
No, we have hundreds, across user services and trust and safety, looking at the issues of content on the platform.
What about you?
Google has thousands of people. There's many different products and different teams work on them, but internally we'll have thousands of people working on them. We also get a good deal of leads on content that we need to review for whether it's appropriate or not that come from outside the company.
You have thousands of people just focused on the content?
On various types of
Mr.
content.
Stretch indicated to us that he has at Facebook? You have thousands of people dedicated?
We have thousands of people dedicated to make sure that content across our, remember Google has many different properties within it, but yes, the answer is we have thousands that look at content that has been reported to us as inappropriate.
So in view of that, Mr. Stretch, do you think 150 people is enough people?
Senator, to be clear, the 150 people I mentioned earlier is people whose full-time job is focused on addressing terrorism content on Facebook. In terms of addressing content on the site generally, we have thousands. And indeed, we have a community operations team that we announced earlier this year that we were going to be adding additional thousands to the several thousands that are already working on this problem every day.
It's pretty clear that this is a whole new sort of use or misuse of your platform, and you may have various ways to address terrorist content, but this is a whole other thing. I do have, may I ask one more question? This is a short one for Mr. Stretch, because you indicated that there were 126 million people who saw the content associated with the Internet Research Agency, and that may be just the tip of the iceberg because that was just from one source, and there may be plenty of other dark sources out there. And in an election where a total of about 115,000 votes would have changed the outcome, can you say that the false and misleading propaganda people saw on your Facebook didn't have an impact on the election? Can you say that it didn't have an impact on the election?
Senator, we're not well positioned to judge why any one person or an entire electorate voted as it did. The content that we've provided to the committee was a very small fraction, 0.004% of the content that was served in the United States over the period in question. The point I do want to emphasize is that any amount, however small a fraction of this sort of content, has no place on Facebook, and it's why we're investing to address this going forward.
I don't think anybody could say that this kind of content did not have some kind of effect on our election outcomes. Thank you.